to Button Moon. We followed Mr. Spoon. Button Moon. Button Moon.
There's Button Moon, shining brightly in blanket sky. And there's the Spoon family's spaceship, standing on a carpet of grass and shining very brightly in the light of the moon. It's shiny because Mr. Spoon is busy cleaning it. Mr. Spoon, are Mrs. Spoon and Tina helping you? They're not. I wonder if they're inside the house. Oh, Tina's crying. Tina has lost the school mouse, Chalky. He's not in his box. The little white mouse was spending the school holidays with the Spoon family, and Tina has lost him. Mrs. Spoon tells Tina not to worry. They'll soon find Chalky. Tina, is the school mouse underneath the table? Mrs. Spoon, is Chalky the mouse behind the tea packet sideboard? I wonder where he can be. Mr. Spoon doesn't know why Tina and Mrs. Spoon are looking on the floor. Mrs. Spoon tells Mr. Spoon that they've lost the school mouse. Mr. Spoon pretends he's frightened of the little tiny mouse. That's made Tina laugh and has made her forget her tears. Mrs. Spoon tells Tina that if she went to Button Moon with Mr. Spoon, by the time they came back, she would have found the school mouse. Mr. Spoon thinks that's a very good idea. But Tina mustn't forget her school satchel, because even though it's a school holiday, she still has to do her homework. Well, I hope Mrs. Spoon finds the school mouse. Maybe the school mouse is hiding in the airing cupboard. Mrs. Spoon is going to have a look. Well, Tina's remembered her school satchel full of books. Are you going to climb into the spaceship, Mr. Spoon and Tina? Tina's very excited about going to Button Moon, but she hasn't forgotten that the little school mouse is missing. Let's get ready for the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Mrs. Spoon is looking in the airing cupboard for the school mouse. Is he there, Mrs. Spoon? I hope the next-door neighbour's cat hasn't caught the mouse. I expect Tina and Mr. Spoon will be quite close to Button Moon by now. Tina enjoyed watching that. Mr. Spoon thinks Tina has forgotten all about the school mouse. Tina asks her dad if she'll ever see the little mouse again. Mr. Spoon doesn't know. What's that? It's the school mouse in Tina's satchel. Tina and Mr. Spoon haven't seen him. He wanted to go to Button Moon. Perhaps he's the first mouse in space. Mr. Spoon is ready to land the spaceship. He's going to press the round button, which makes the spaceship land. Look, Chalky the mouse has got out of the spaceship. Tina and Mr. Spoon are watching the twinkling stars, and they haven't noticed that the little white mouse is running round Button Moon. Tina thinks the hat has magicked the mouse. Tina's so pleased to see the school mouse. And Tina thanks the hat for doing such a very clever trick. And now it's time for Tina and Mr. Spoon and the little white mouse to look through the telescope. We can all look through the telescope to see what we can see. It's morning time on Cherry Tree Farm. As soon as the sun rises in the sky and the cockerel starts to crow. He crows so loudly, he wakes up everyone on the farm. It's the start of a new day. That's Pamela Pig. She's just given birth to some baby piglets. And there's the little red hen, Peggotty. She's having a morning scratch, strutting around the farmyard, looking for some worms. Peggotty's so busy looking for worms, she hasn't even heard about Pamela's new piglets. Daisy the cow. She loves to see all the newborn animals on the farm. She wants to see Pamela's piglets. She doesn't know how many Pamela Pig has had. As it's such a nice day, Pamela Pig decides to take the piglets for a walk so that they can learn all about farm life. She's calling them. The first little piglet. She's calling him Snort because he snorts. She's calling that little piglet Grunt because he grunts. And this little piglet isn't making any noise at all. I wonder what she's going to call this one. Curly Tail, because he's got a long curly tail. Daisy the cow thinks Pamela's newborn babies are very pretty. Pamela Pig tells her piglets they're all going for a trot around Cherry Tree Farm, and they must all keep together. She doesn't want any of them to get lost. So, off they trot. Little Red Hen is still busy looking for worms, and she still hasn't noticed the little baby piglets. Now, Pamela and the piglets are crossing the bridge, and they're by the barn. And she tells the piglets that it's time to go back home now. Off they go again, all except one. Little Curly Tail. He's very tired after his trip trotting around the farmyard, and he wants to have a little nap. He wants to have a sleep in amongst that fresh-cut hay. Look, all that's sticking out is his little pink curly tail. Here comes the little red hen. She's still looking for worms. And suddenly, she sees a pink curly tail. And she thinks it's a worm. It doesn't wiggle like a worm. So, she gives it a little peck with her beak. And up jumps Curly Tail, squealing, and gives the little red hen such a surprise. Pamela's come back to the barn to look for Curly Tail. And Peggotty says she's very sorry to Pamela, but she didn't know that Pamela had piglets. And little Curly Tail has learned his lesson. If his mum says stay with her, then he's going to. Now he's never going to run away from his mother again. Did you enjoy the story? Did the little white mouse like the story? Well, the little white mouse has dropped off to sleep. And now it's time for them to travel back home. Tina, don't wake up the little mouse. Get ready for the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! It looks as though Mrs. Spoon has been out for the day. She's been to Patty's pet shop, and she's bought another mouse, because she couldn't find the school mouse. We know why, don't we? Because he was on Button Moon. Tina and Mr. Spoon are back now. Oh, Mrs. Spoon is so glad to see Chalky. And now she's telling them about the new mouse. Tina's very pleased that Chalky now has a friend. She thinks the new mouse ought to be called Blackboard.
We've been to Button Moon. We followed Mr. Spoon. Button Moon. Button Moon. Button Moon. We've been to Button Moon. Button Moon. Button Moon. Button Moon. Button Moon. Be back soon. Button